Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to tackle a few finishing touches. Let's get to it.
Presented by Fiberglass.
Some of you may be wondering what is left to work on. So I'm going to tell you a couple of things that catch my eye. One is this gap here. So I've got this is kind of the internal panel that's seen from the inside. This is the external panel, and there's this gap all the way along. You can see the fasteners and other things. So to me, it just kind of makes it look a little unfinished. So that's one thing I want to fix. That means unwrapping this, probably adding some fiberglass, and then I think rather than rewrapping, I really like the truck bed liner that we did for kind of the seats in this rear access panel. Another thing, as long as we're getting out the truck bed liner, these internal door panels, there's a seam right there that I put some seam material in and stuff, and it just doesn't want to stay, and it kind of just doesn't look the greatest. So these two door panels, I want to take off the material there and spray that with the truck bed liner as well. Here is the panel. Again, had to take some of the wires off the door locks, disconnect the handle from the lock. I'm going to go ahead and take the wrap off and get it ready to do the truck bed liner. Got the truck bed liner on, things look really good. We'll let this set up and then reassemble. All right, just got the second one done. We're gonna go ahead and put them back in the doors. All right, in the footwell, we've got these panels here. And again, the vinyl wrap is coming up. So these ones I'm going to take out and do the same coating here, the truck bed liner. really thrilled with the truck bed liner. Glad I found it. It's really durable. I kind of like the look. Yeah, it'll hold up to scuffs and feet and things like that. After having the roof on, I now know kind of how far this can go up. So essentially, the roof rides right here. So I can make it go to this line pretty much, and then I will go kind of straight across above this screw, probably to about here, and then kind of down and around. So I'll go ahead and take these off and start that process. I feel like I haven't shared any tips in a while. So for things like this, whenever you have sticky residue, there's a couple things that get it off a lot better than others. So for sticky stuff, use mineral spirits, or today I'm gonna try WD-40. So again, the oils tend to kind of break down the sticky stuff, and I found that actually sandpaper kind of tends to loosen it a little faster than just rubbing it with cloth. I got these guys cleaned up. One thing I uncovered that I don't remember what I did, we got double holes here. It's not supposed to have two holes. So what I'll do is I'll put some fiberglass from the back and then some fiberglass filler over the hole, kind of smooth it out. I now have the wrap off, things cleaned up. So I'll now look to extend this to kind of cover, kind of just make it look finished. So this has got a lip that kind of comes out. So I will likely just cut that off right along here. And then on this side as well. This side maybe we can keep, but basically my thought is I want this to kind of go from here to here. And then when it wraps around here, it'll kind of follow this and kind of come across there all the way across. All right, I just got one layer on. I was thinking maybe I do two, but it tends to sag quite a bit. So we'll let this harden up, and I'll either put another layer on after it hardens, or I'll take it off and kind of put more from the backside. I did my first pass at trimming, so I'm going to trim a little bit more off this corner here and a little bit more just towards the middle, because this whole section could kind of push up a little bit if this is just trimmed a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. Again, the goal was to try and just hide the fasteners and make it look a little more uniform. All right, after some sanding, this is locked in really well. I'm liking the gap. This one here, this washer, I'll probably just notch so you can't see it. And then down here, just towards the very edge, I gotta trim just a little bit so it's even. But this side's looking really good. All right, I'm getting these ready to paint, and initially I had holes here to drill in the frame. Later I added these big holes with these bigger bolts to attach the roof. So I don't need this one anymore, and so this is another tip. So I've actually just got this one with some tape. So I tape this side and I'll fill the back side with fiberglass filler, and that gives you a nice even surface here, a lot less time sanding. All right, there it is. We'll let this set up and finish it up. All right, I had a few questions asked about how I spray or apply the truck bed liner. So I'm just using my primer gun, and I use a 2.0 tip. You can actually thin it out with some urethane reducer, but I actually kind of like it thick because I like the texture. So I just kind of spray it. Again, the ratio is 3:1 for the mix, and I just kind of spray it straight from that. This is the spray gun that comes with it, and basically you just you put all the activator into one of the bottles, stir it up really well, and then screw it on here, and then you spray away. The problem is this tip is like extremely large and it kind of goops out. So again, I don't know if I was doing it wrong, but it said to spray between 40 and 60 psi, and it would just kind of goop out like, I don't know, I kind of say like a dinosaur sneezed. So again, it probably wouldn't look too bad for a truck bed liner, but for what I was looking for, I just wanted a little more refined. My application of the truck bed liner is almost the opposite of what I do for painting. So what I do here is I get a nice thick coat on first, and then I do a kind of a more lighter coat on second. And a lighter coat is really just more to kind of get an even texture. The first coat is make sure I get good coverage, and it seems to work really nice for what I like. So I pulled these out of the paint booth. They look really good. I painted these as well. These are windshield vents. They were previously painted black, but they were kind of flaking off. So again, this stuff's way more durable, so we'll put those back in. So that is looking so much nicer. No gap, no gap. One section I noticed just as I thought I was done. It's right down here. So again, this one comes out again to protect from like any splash up and things, and we're still just leaving this part open. So I think what I may do is just fiberglass kind of straight back down and around. Okay, just laid up a couple layers of fiberglass just here on this support that I made, as well as overlapped it a little bit on here. So when it sets up, we'll trim it off, pop this whole thing off, and do several more layers on the inside, clean it up, and get ready for the truck bed liner again. So I got the fiberglass laid up. This part here looks pretty good. It needs just a little bit of filling and sanding. So we've got this one all ready for truck bed liner. But before I do that, there's a couple other components that I want to put some truck bed liner on. I'm going to do a first. The first time in this car build, I'm actually going to pay for a service. Pretty much everything else I've done on my own. Kind of all the welding, soldering, fiberglass, paint. So I've not really paid for any services. I've paid for a lot of parts, but this will be the first time I pay for a service. The service I'm going to pay for is I'm going to pay for cushions to be made for my seats. So I'm doing this for a couple reasons. One, I have made cushions before, so those armrests. I kind of feel like I've gone down that path. I know how to do it. I know pitfalls and what to do, what not to do. To me though, there are 9 cushions for each chair. And that's just something I didn't want to do, and I thought, especially where I'm going to be sitting on them and it's going to see a lot of wear and tear, I think this is also something that a lot of people will look at. I think this is the time to get something professionally made. In order to take out the seats, I have to take off the rear access panel. While the seats are out being upholstered, I'm going to work on a few interior items that need to be cleaned up. So one is right here. This is the vinyl kind of on the inside of the center console. And when I take the access panel on and off, very first time I did it, I scraped right there, and it's kind of irreparable. You'd have to take the whole thing off and redo it. So we'll look at that. So I don't know how well you can see this one. You probably can't, but this has got this surface kind of goes here and tucks in and then comes back out. And the vinyl's kind of pulled away right here, probably just with some heat. So again, that's another thing I've got to fix. So essentially what that means is most of the interior is going to come out to get a second chance. All right, because I was getting the truck bed liner out for these pillar covers, I also wanted to take this opportunity to kind of update some of the interior. So for me, the glove box as well as the dash surround. Also with the gauge surround here, I had to do a seam, and the seam just didn't quite hold up. It was pretty good, but there's also kind of a bubbling effect here. So just going to take this opportunity to kind of get it all nice and neat. These were all done a long time ago with vinyl wrapping. And again, it worked pretty well and it held up pretty decent. But I just kind of want to update the look, and I've really been liking the truck bed liner. So I'm going to go ahead and take the wrap off these.
So I had a little wind gust in the paint booth, tipped a lot of things over. It's kind of a little bit scary, but we did not go flying away. All right, so that time spraying the truck bed liner, I tried to do a few different things. I tried the reducer, and that actually helped it spray a lot easier. I also tried a 1.4 tip, and I didn't like that one as much. It kind of just looked like, I'm gonna call it bad paint job, where the 2.0 tip kind of gives it the texture I like. But the 2.0, I was worried with the reducer that it would kind of go on really thin and not be the same texture. Again, texture is great, kind of same texture as before, just a lot easier to spray. We're going to take off the gray wrap. Believe it or not, this was all done in one piece. So it was really challenging. Put a link in the video up here. But one of the reasons is every time I took something on or off, the vinyl is just not very robust. So it starts to kind of rub through. So for example, right here, this is kind of the rear access panel. And again, when I took that on and off, it would just kind of do just enough abrasion and then it would kind of come up. Same thing here with the pillar covers. I tried to tape things, but you can see, again, just kind of some abrasion. And the truck bed liner will be a lot better for that. So we're going to take this one off and get it ready for truck bed liner. So I was prepping the center console for the truck bed liner. I noticed a few cracks. So we're gonna route those out, probably put some fiberglass behind and some fiberglass filler in the cracks. I thought it'd be fun to have the two-tone look, so I got some tintable truck bed liner. It can be tinted with any polyurethane-based paint, so I just got some gray. It's called Chrysler Granite Crystal, just a little quart of paint. I added it to the tintable truck bed liner. The tintable truck bed liner, instead of being black, it's kind of milky color, almost like Crisco or lithium grease. Mix it up real good. It says you can add up to 10% of the tintable paint. Stirred it all up and painted my dash. All right, I just plugged in the center console and stereo. So those are the things I unplugged when I took the interior apart. So I'm just gonna do a quick systems check. All right, I think all the systems checked out. Slowly getting back together. So put the upper part of the center console in. This bottom part's in except for the back. I need to put the rear access cover on before I can do the back. But put the glove box back in, the kind of dash back in. So I think it looks really sharp. I also need to put the windshield back on, the door panels back on, and the pillar covers back on. Still waiting for the seats. So once the seats get in, bolt them in, put the rear access panel in, and I think we're done. Got the seats and the armrest back with the new cushions. So now we'll put them in the car, call it done for the interior. I just washed it inside and out, took it for a drive. Man, I really love the new features. I realize a lot of you guys can't tell the difference, but I love that this is covered up, makes it look a lot more finished. The carbon fiber accents look amazing. And then also just kind of the new freshened interior with the truck bed liner. Again, I like the two-tone, kind of the gray with the black. All in all, just really pleased. The seat cushions also are just amazing. It's really nice. Hey everybody, I thought I'd put some Easter eggs in my videos. So I recently got some eBay gift cards that they said I could kind of give to my viewers. So rather than kind of sending them in the mail, I will just show you the code. So watch or rewatch the video, see if you can find one of these and look for the code. So that'll do it for this time. See you next time.